Hey there, traders. It's Terry, Lady Boss Traders here. Wanted to sort of go over my trades today and the system that I'm working with to ensure that I get 100 ticks with the highest probability. And I'm using the Obsidian Auto Trader, or the bot, to accomplish this. So I just kind of suck at getting in at the right opportune time. So I totally will admit that and say that the reason why I got the Obsidian suite was for the bot feature and for getting me in at the opportune time and for managing the trade. But that doesn't negate the need to still be able to read the chart, know when to arm the bot or not. Because let's say, for example, if it's really choppy and you arm it, chances are you're going to lose in the trade. So I'm going to go over and show one of the setups, or at least a couple of the setups I took today, and then the one that I totally missed because I was out running errands, which was the afternoon run. So what I have been looking at is this 8 bar over here on the left, the 16 bar in the middle, and the 32 bar on the right. So my left and right are sort of my guides. And if you are not familiar with Renko candles at all or anything like that, it's basically, momentum, right? But they're all the same length. Now this is really scrunched in, so bear with me, but they're all the same length. So my 8s are 8 ticks over here, 16 and 32. So if you're not familiar with it, like I have started to go down that road, think of it in minutes. That, let's say my 16 bar is kind of like my 5-minute chart, my 8 bar is like maybe my 1-minute chart, and my 32, maybe that's my 10 or 15 bar. Now, of course, we're not trying to just use pure math here, but I just want to give you a reference point. So my 16 bar, which is like a 5-minute chart, and for anybody who has even remotely started trading the NQ moves really fast and high volatility. So the trade on the 5 minutes, you're like, whoa, that's 15-minute. We're not trying to just use pure math here, but I just want to give you a reference point. So my 16 bar, which is like a 5-minute chart, and for anybody who has even remotely started trading the NQ moves really fast and high volatility. So the trade on the 5 minutes, you're like, whoa, that's like a long time. A lot of people trade it on the 1 minute or even less. 15-minute, we're not trying to just use pure math here, but I just want to give you a reference point. So my 16 bar, which is like a 5-minute chart, and for anybody who has even remotely started trading the NQ moves really fast and high volatility. So the trade on the 5 minutes, you're like, whoa, that's like a long time. A lot of people trade it on the 1 minute or even less, 30 seconds or something like that, if they're looking at it, because a lot of movement can happen in that short period of time. So to be on the 16 bar, sometimes when I first started it was giving me heart failure. I will not even pretend that it didn't, because it can go up or against you pretty quickly. But what I like about this 16 bar, and I'm going to spread this out here a little bit so you'll see, is when it makes some moves, like up here, this is the amount of ticks: 33 bars and 552 ticks, 229, 182, 157. I like the 16 bar because my probability is higher that I can at least get 100 ticks out of it. If I get more, great. But if I can get at least 100 ticks out of it, I can meet my target. And if you're looking to be funded, you want to be consistent. So if I could get 100 ticks with even one NQ contract, that's about $500. Well, it's 500, excluding any fees or commissions or anything that come out of it. So to do that consistently, and then if you want to have bigger funded accounts and then have more contracts, so be it. But 100 ticks is my goal. So I have been learning from the Obsidian community, CJ and Kyle and Miami Max, and they are all wonderful. But I hadn't found quite a style that was working for me. So this is very similar to a mix of, I would say, Miami Maxes and a few other people, but I'm using the bot. So what am I looking for? I'm looking to arm the auto trader when I'm not in chop. It's more about when not to arm it, in my opinion, than it is about when to arm it. If I can recognize using these zones in here that maybe this is too tight, like this red bar up here on the left is too close to the green, like so this would be a possible reversal, and then this would be a possible bounce in the green, meaning we're going up for a buy. That this is close, so maybe I don't want to get there. Not to mention the brick count or the bar count. When you start to, let's say, expand it out a little bit, I don't want to get in and chase when it's, you know, like 12, 13 or something. I've missed that trade. I want to catch it in like, you know, 1 through 5 or something like that. And so I have a better chance, in my opinion, that I can do that on the 16. It's not as super critical to be quite as precise. So what I'm also looking for is that this super trend value, so that you see this red on the over here, if it has started to turn up, I'm looking for, okay, we're going to go up. And then if it has started to turn down, coming out of being, it's kind of hard to see it over here on the 8 bar, that it's horizontal and start to go down, then I'm expecting it to go down. And the only thing, like I said, I'm really looking for it to do is that we are starting to either go down or up. This white line in here is my 200 EMA, and while it's not the gospel, so to speak, I'm looking that if I'm above 200 EMA, I should be looking for buys. And since I have confluence, meaning agreement, from my 8 bar and my 16 bar, I would be looking for buys. And as you can see, those are the bigger trades or what has happened. So I normally start looking at the charts. Well, I look at them earlier, but I might not arm it until like 9 or a little after. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play through this a little bit, let this start running. And I would see that this red up here and this green are really close on my 16 bar, so I'm not trying to arm it right now. I'm expecting, based on like my MACD and maybe my filter here with the sweep, that I would be coming down, even if it's just for a retracement. But my 32 bar over here says I might still be going up, possibly still be going up. So I would be looking for it to continue down if I break past on the 16 bar, break past this green zone. So I got in this morning, I don't even remember what time, so I'm going to speed this up down here a little bit. This is all sim, all playback, and I'm going to get ready to arm it. So the ATM that I'm using is just 100 take profit, 100 and 100 stop loss. And so again, this is sim. I like using the semi, and then whether it's armed or not.
Bullish signal. Unconfirmed order filled. Reversing.
Oh, so it was an actual buy. I could not even remember. Let's see.
Target filled.
There we go. So it was a buy. I couldn't even remember, so my fault. So, but that was the first 100 ticks, and it was, as you can see, this is pointing up, but it actually came down, touched our SMA, and went back up. So I'm gonna pause the video and actually go to this afternoon's move. There was another trade that I did do, but the big move, it was this afternoon. So here we are again. We are definitely in chop on, look at our 8 bar. The red is like really on top of the green. We've been coming in a decline here, but our trend bar looks like it's trying to maybe straighten out, maybe go back up. We've got our green down here, looks like possible bounce zones, but until I either would reach above this or below, I wouldn't arm it based on the 8 bar. So let's get ready. It's reset because I moved this.
Bullish signal.
So our green arrow here, unconfirmed.
Order filled.
Now we're in our buy. So now it's about managing the trade. So this is where it becomes, now this is hindsight, so I know how it goes really far. But I could look at let me pause this real quick because it's about to exceed it. So I could look at my 32 bar and see that I have it, they're not lugwood lines, they're called these settlement lines, that it's possible I could go up here, but it's possible that if I break this line on the 32 bar, this red, that I could at least get here. So I'm going to slow this down just a little so we have time to maybe adjust our stop loss. I usually like to wait till it's above 50 before I start moving my stop loss. Let me make this 2x, just because I don't want to make it too tight. And I could have it trail some other stuff, but right now, this is what I'm doing. I'm kind of manually moving things. And so I'm seeing what will happen here, if it will start to retrace or if it's going to continue to break through. Right now, I'm in a no-lose trade. I'm only at 26 ticks. And we're up to 70 some. I try not to, I'm not going to swear to it, that I try not to have the trail be on the current counter, the current bar. So in case it retraces all the way down versus reversing, it has some way to drop, but that it doesn't turn all the way against me. So again, I'd be looking to see, do I make it here? I'm at 80 some ticks. This is probably close to 100 right in here, which is a possibility of retracement. But what I see on here is that there's this big gap between here. So could we keep going when the 32 has some possible retracements here? It's easy, like I said, in hindsight to do this, which we know it runs, but it's a little bit harder if you are doing it live. And so it could be that we say, well, you know what, we're just going to take our 100, or if we have a bigger account, maybe we have 2 contracts, and at 100 we take that first one, and then the second one we let be a runner. Or we can do what they call like this. I can attach it to an indicator. Let's see if it shows up here. I'm looking for I'm not going to do this now, but you can attach it to like the trend. I have not done it without the other. Let's see, it's at the trend down here. And then as the trend moves up, so it might actually go down. Let's see. I can't remember if I disabled that other trend. That's why I'm saying it might not move. And I think it's not. But you get the idea. We can move up even more. Yes, I'm going to say modify. And let's say we put our TP up here and we leave this here. Which still isn't our 100. We're only at 48 take profit. So if I just want to be like, I want to get every little ounce, I can move it up a little bit more. And I will speed this up, because at some point it's going to retrace. I'm going to put this down here just because I know we keep running. But let's see if we at least get here. So if I were concerned, like, would I keep going? I would actually move my TP down to the base of what I see on my 32. And I might marry that. Maybe I'll look at the 8 bar and see, like, this is kind of where it might get to. And if it keeps exceeding that, then we would keep moving. So let's speed this up even more. And what's not showing here is my other indicators, which help show like what the top indices,
unconfirmed bearish PTC signal,
the top stocks are doing within like the NQ, the Apple, Microsoft, and things like that. So I would suggest that it's your trading style on whether or not you would just take your 100 and be done, or if you're only trading one like I'm doing. I probably would have just taken my 100 and be done, but I just saw this move later in the day that happened, and so I wanted to go through it and show how the bot can get you in at sort of this primo position. You just have to be patient and wait on it. And remember, it's about getting the most of the move, but not every drop of the move. And so even if, like we know this goes up to 900 ticks, so this is 2116. If we were to get most of that, we'd still be quite happy. So right now I'm looking at over 700. Remember, the 500 would have been part of this, but because I've moved my time here, it wipes it away. So whatever we end up with, we would add that 500 to it. So for grins and giggles, let's speed this up just a little bit more. We see we're at 430 ticks, 22 bars. I forgot how many bars it gets to.
Unconfirmed bullish signal.
No. All right.
Bearish PTC signal.
Oops, did I get too tight?
Reversing.
Now I'm playing with this.
Bullish signal.
I can.
Unconfirmed bearish PTC signal.
And we're running this at 20x.
Reversing. Unconfirmed bullish signal. Bullish signal.
Man, where does this go if it gets to 900? Because then that's beyond here, but maybe it's at the 32, my reversal zone's up there.
Bearish PTC signal.
So we're at, whoops,
Bullish signal.
639. I'm interested to see really where does this, I think it's maybe somewhere in the bottom of here. And maybe for safety's sake, if you were running this trade, you would just feel like, you know what? We are definitely happy with what we have gotten. We're almost over 2,000. And don't forget to add that 500 we would have achieved earlier. Keep moving our stop loss up. Maybe like 3 candles. We're almost there. Let's see. I think, oops. It must reach the bottom of this.
Unconfirmed bearish PTC signal. Reversing.
So if I were doing this trade for real, once I saw this red, I would have gotten out. I know me, for sure. And my MACD has started to turn. So let's see if it
bullish signal.
If it gets to the bottom of my 32.
Bearish PTC signal.
If it's really turning around.
Unconfirmed bullish signal. Bullish signal.
And if that's the case, I'm going to move this just below this red over here and see do we make it up there.
Reversing.
Or if it's at the top. Kind of hard to speculate. Is this 200 ticks between here and here? And we've got a little red, if you can see, on the 16 that's forming right here. Wow, we're still going. So maybe it gets to
unconfirmed bearish PTC signal. Unconfirmed bearish PTC signal. Reversing. Stop fill.
Ah, I got stopped out. Ah, that's okay. So let's just see where, if it, where that
unconfirmed bullish signal. Bullish signal
was. I'm going to speed up that because it's
unconfirmed bearish PTC signal.
If the sky's the limit, I want to see where that reversal point
reversing.
shows up. So let's 100x this. So this is at 813, which is at the bottom of this reversal. And
bearish PTC signal.
So 900 is
bullish signal.
Might be at the top. It's got to be.
Unconfirmed bearish PTC signal. Bearish PTC signal. Bullish signal. Unconfirmed bearish PTC signal. Reversing. Unconfirmed bullish signal. Reversing. Unconfirmed bearish PTC
All right, so I
signal.
paused the playback. And 900 is at the top, just about at the top of our reversal bar over here on the 32. So we broke through here and it went all the way up here, and this is where it kind of ended for the day. So even if you got half of that, a quarter of that, you would have been sitting pretty. So this would have been well over what, to maybe 3,000, because we would have added our 5 and we didn't make it all the way up to the 9. So definitely a great trade. And hopefully you got some of that. If you have any questions, definitely let me know. If you want to get a 7-day trial of Obsidian Suite, you can definitely do that too. And check the links below, and I will see you next time.